Hi everyone. Today we are going to study about the types of garbages and the disposal. We throw out so much rubbish or garbage every day from our homes, schools, shops and offices. The grains, pulses, biscuits, milk or oil purchased in shops are packed in plastic bags or tins. All this wrapping material go out as garbage. We sometimes buy things that are rarely used and often thrown into the garbage. What if the garbage is not removed from our homes and surroundings? How do you think this will harm us? When Safai Karmacharis take the garbage from the bins, where does the garbage go and what happens to it? Is it possible for all this garbage to be changed into something that will not harm us? Can we contribute towards this in any way? We will look for answers to these questions in this chapter. The materials that are no more required and are of no use that we throw out of our houses are collectively called garbage. The kitchen waste like fruit and vegetable peels, their rotten parts, leftover food, eggs, shells, tea remains, etc. The used plastic bags, wrappers, aluminium wrappers and foil, broken glass, old shoes, broken toys, metal waste, old clothes, etc. we can say. So how to throw this? When we are throwing these garbages into the nature, otherwise in the environment, what happens to the environment? Throwing garbage in the open pollutes the environment. The garbage rots and spreads bad odor. Also, harmful bacteria and other diseases causing microorganisms dwell on it. When stray animals look for food in this garbage, they scatter it. Also, it is carried by wind and water, which pollutes our environment. Hence, we should not throw the garbage in an open place. So, what should we do? We should collect all the domestic garbage in a dustbin and dump it in a municipal vehicle that comes daily. They take it into a landfill area. So, what is meant by landfill? The landfills are, so these are the different types of garbages, the biodegradable and the non-biodegradable waste. So, let's see what is meant by landfill. The landfills are large, low-lying areas in which waste is buried in compact layers. Each layer is covered with soil after the landfill is full. It can be converted into park. So, there are part of the garbage that can be reused is separated out from the one that cannot be used as such. So the non-useful component is separated out. It is then spread over the landfill and then covered with the layer of soil. Once the landfill is completely full, it is usually converted into a park or a playground. For next 20 years or so, no building is constructed on it. No deal with some of the useful components of garbage. The compost making areas are developed near the landfill. The rock garden in Chandigarh, and you will come to know how broken glass, bangles, crockery, plastic bottles, broken tube lights, etc. have been used to adorn a park that has gained international recognition today. So, the non-biodegradable things are collected and it can be reused. Have you noticed garbage heaps of dried leaves on the roadside? Most of the time, these are burnt. The farmers too often burn the husk, dried leaves, and part of the crop plants in their fields after harvesting. Burning of these produces smoke and gases that are harmful to our health. We should try to stop such practices. These waste could be converted into useful compost. So, you know that the waste is collected and this collected waste should be managed properly. So, the waste management includes collection, transportation, segregation, recycling, and disposal of the waste. So, here we are going to study about how the waste can be of two types. One is biodegradable waste and non-biodegradable waste. So here this biodegradable waste, it is the kind of waste that decays over time through the action of organisms present in the soil. The non-biodegradable waste, it is a kind of waste that do not decay over time. The objects made of plastic and glass are examples of non-biodegradable waste. So what we are going to do with the biodegradable waste? So we can make compost. The composting involves making compost or manure from the biodegradable wastes. So it is very good for growing plants. So what is meant by composting? Composting is a process of making the biodegradable waste into useful manure. So how to make it? First of all, in a small pit, add biodegradable waste such as vegetable peels, eggshells, dead leaves and flowers. Cover the waste by a layer of mud to keep rodents from disturbing it. Sprinkle a little water from time to time to keep it moist. Using a stick, turn over the pile from time to time. After about 4 or 5 weeks, the organisms in the soil convert the waste into rich manure. Okay, so in that way we can make a compost. Now the next method is the vermicomposting. So what is meant by vermicomposting? The method of preparing compost with the help of red worms is called vermicomposting. So why these red worms are used? These red worms are used to make the compost by eating them and making it a soft manure. So for this, the red worms need food. You can give them vegetable and fruit waste, coffee and tea remains, and weeds from the fields or garden. It might be a good idea to bury this food about 2 to 3 centimeters inside the pit. Do not use waste that may contain salt, pickles, oil, vinegar, meat and milk preparation as food for your red worms. If you put these things in the pit, disease-causing small organisms start growing in the pit. Once in a few days, gently mix and move the top layers of your pit. The red worms do not have teeth. They have a structure called gizzard, which helps them in grinding their food. Powdered eggshells or seashells could be mixed with the waste. This would help red worms in grinding their food. A red worm can eat food equal to its own weight in a day. Red worms do not survive in very hot or very cold surroundings. They also need moisture around them. If you take good care of your worms, in a month's time, their number will double. So let's see how we are going to make the vermicompost. Choose a place that is neither too hot nor too cold and does not get sunlight directly. Dig a 30 cm deep pit in this place. Spread 1 or 2 cm thick layer of sand at the bottom of the pit. Spread vegetable waste including peels of fruits, green leaves and pieces and husk or pieces of newspaper or cardboards like that. Sprinkle some water to make this layer wet. Do not press the layer of waste. Keep this layer loose so that it has sufficient air and moisture. Put some red worms in the pit. Already we know that what are the red worms and how do they eat and other things. Cover the pit loosely with a gunny bag or an old sheet of cloth or layer of grass. Bury vegetables and fruit waste, tea remains and weeds from the fields or gardens. Once in a few days, gently mix and move the top layer of your pit. Observe the contents of the pit carefully. After 4 weeks, we can get the waste changed into black, loose, soil-like material in the pit. So thus, we can prepare the vermicompost. So we have studied that biodegradable waste can be made into compost and vermicompost. So what are we going to do with the non-biodegradable waste? The best way to tackle non-biodegradable waste is to reduce their generation, reuse them for other purposes or recycle them into new things. So the first of all, reduce. The simple things like carrying a cloth bag for shopping instead of taking plastic ones from the shopkeeper can help us reduce waste generation. Reuse, we can make use of the old things instead of throwing them away. For example, we can use empty jars and metal cans for storing other items instead of throwing them away. Recycle, it involves making useful things from waste. For example, objects made of metal, glass, and certain types of plastics can be recycled and used to make new things. So, what is the benefits of recycling? So, through this recycling, we will not generate waste. So, let's study how we are going to recycle paper. So for this we need a lot of paper. The huge amount of paper waste is required for the recycling of paper. Collect pieces of old newspapers, magazines, used envelopes, notebooks or any other paper. Do not use shiny or plastic coated paper. Tear the paper into small pieces. Put these paper bits in a tub or a bucket and pour hot water in it. Let the pieces of paper remain submerged in water for a day. Make a thick paste of paper next day by pounding it. Spreading the wet paste on the wire mesh fixed to the frame. Pat it gently to make the thickness of layer of the paste as uniform as possible. Wait till water drains off. Spread an old cloth or a sheet of newspaper on the paste to let it soak up the extra water. Spread it on a sheet of newspaper carefully. Remove excess water from paper layer by pressing with the newspaper or blotting paper. Keep the paper in sunlight to dry for 2 days. Keep the corners of the newspaper sheet pressed by putting some weights so that they do not curl up. So now your recycled paper is ready. So this is the way we can recycle paper. Now the next one is plastic. The plastic, you know that it is used widely in household. The plastic is used toys, shoes, bags, pens, combs, toothbrushes, buckets, bottles and water pipes, etc. all are made of plastics. The plastic is used as packing material and wrapper in majority of items today. Now, certain parts of the automobiles and electronic equipments are made from plastic. The plastic is replacing glass. Example, tumbler, plates and bowls which were previously made from glass are made from plastic nowadays. Previously, the furniture was made from wood. Nowadays, it is made from plastic. The plastic waste must be thrown in blue dustbin so that it can be disposed of properly by the municipality. The plastic waste that can be recycled must be sold to scrap vendors. We give the broken plastic articles to scrap vendor and buy some useful plastic goods. So, the plastic waste cannot be converted into less harmful substances by the process of composting. All kind of plastic gives out harmful gases upon heating or burning. These gases may cause many health problems including cancer in humans. Some kind of plastics can be recycled but not all of them. Hence, the plastic should not be used, and the getting rid of plastic waste is also a serious problem. So what we have to do? We can minimize the overuse of plastics and deal with garbage. We make a minimum use of plastic bags. We reuse the bags whenever it is possible to do so without any adverse effects. We insist shopkeepers use paper bags. We carry a cloth or a jute bag when we go out for shopping. We do not use plastic bags to store eatables. We do not throw plastic bags here and there after use. We never burn plastic bags and other plastic items. We do not put garbage in plastic bags and throw it away. We use vermicomposting at home and deal with our kitchen waste usefully. We recycle paper. We use both sides of paper to write. We use a slate for rough work. We use blank sheets of paper left in our notebooks for rough work. We make our family, friends, and others to follow proper practices for disposing different kinds of waste. So these are the ways we can think of the ways of generating garbage and minimize the use to deal with the garbages. So read the textbook, read the lesson and find out the answers of this lesson. Thank you.